Okay, this is a pretty easy thing to do today. That's good. We need easy things every now and then so we don't get burnt out. Now, it says factor that expression. So what it says x squared times x plus 2 minus 16. So make that plus negative 16, and that is multiplied by x plus 2. Now, this is how we factor it. We don't want to multiply it, okay? We want to do the opposite of multiplying, which is to factor. So I want you to circle this plus sign in the middle, and then you're going to put a bubble around each one of these sides. Okay? Now, make a space with a parentheses. Now, as you can see, we have x plus 2 here, and we also have x plus 2 here. So, therefore, the GCF is actually x plus 2. Okay? So we've got x plus 2 here, and we got x plus 2 here. Okay, now what I should do then is do what I normally do on those and divide by x plus 2 and divide by x plus 2. So the fact that we're dividing that by itself cancels, and then that cancels. Then what do I have left? I have x to the second power and negative 16. Okay, and that's basically what, oh, no, hold on a second. I want you then to see if you have a DOPS, okay? Well, you don't here because that's a plus, so that'll stay x plus 2. Now, I do here because we got minus and then 4 times 4, and then x times x. So that needs to go down into 2 parentheses with x, and then 4 and 4. So now we have x plus 2 times x plus 4 times x minus 4. Okay, my next problem, 2x to the second times x minus 4 plus 5 times x minus 4. So here's my plus sign. So what that's done is it separates the problem into 2 different kind of terms. So as you can see, what do we have common to both these terms? We have x minus 4 and x minus 4, so I need to pull out x minus 4. So then I'm going to go up and divide by x minus 4 in both of these. So then what happens is those cancel, and those cancel, and what do I have left? I have 2x second plus 5. Okay, now, I have a minus here, but, so I'll look for DOPS. I have a minus here, and 4 is 2 times 2, but x, since x isn't to the second power, I can't write that as a factor times itself, so no, I don't have any. So since I don't have any, I am done with this particular problem at that point. Okay, next up, 3x to the second times x minus 6 plus 7 times x plus minus 6. So right there and right there. So I've got x minus 6 and x minus 6. Okay, so then I'm going to divide by x minus 6 and divide by x minus 6. And then that gives me 3x second plus 7. DOPS, well, I don't have a plus there, so no. And I have a minus here, but 6 isn't a perfect square, so that's no. So I'm done at that point. I don't need to go further like I could on that very first problem. Okay, now here's an interesting one. So plus and plus. So here's the first term, here's the second. Okay, so space, parentheses, I've got x plus 5 and x, well, they're not the same, okay? X plus 5, x minus 7. So what I do is write that the expression is prime. Prime means I cannot factor it, okay? Prime, because we had 2 different things, x plus 5, x minus 7. I had no common factor. Okay, next problem. make that plus negative. And all this, the point of this is to get you ready for something bigger, but so x plus 3, so that's good. I could put x plus 3 out there. And then so I divide by x plus 3, and I end up with x to the power of 2 plus negative 5, so it's going to be minus 5. So DOPS, well, I got a minus here, but 5 is nothing. I can't write, 5's not a perfect square, so that's my answer. Okay, my next problem. There's my plus. Remember, this is a kind of like factors within factors is kind of what they call it. Okay, so I've got x plus 5 and x plus 5, so I'm going to factor out x plus 5. So that's going to leave me with 4x second and 3. Okay. All right, and then there's no minuses, so there's no way it can go down any further. So x plus 5 times 4x to the second plus 3. Okay, 4x squared times x minus 2 plus negative 9 times x minus 2. So I got the plus in the middle. And I've got x minus 2 and x minus 2, so that is a common factor, that whole expression is. Okay, so I have 4x second, and I have negative 9, so that's going to be minus 9 because of the negative. Now, DOPS, yes, we do have one because that's minus, and that's 3 times 3. And that's 2 times 2, and that's x times x. So that'd be 2x times 2x. So this is not 1. So that right there just stays the same because 2 is not a perfect square. And then we make this into 2 parentheses with plus and minus. So it's 2x multiplied by 2x, and then a plus 3 multiplied by a minus 3. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the plus negative 9. But x plus 4 and x plus 7, they're not the same. So because they're not the same, the expression's prime. Okay, you have 4 of those to do. I hope it's been informative, and let me know if you guys have some questions on it.